Here we go. Should be live now. Post and close that because then we don't want that going on. What do we got? Notifications. All right. Should be live now. Pretty darn good. I've had Tuesdays on myself. Uh, okay. So keep an eye on it. But here you have the latest coming up from the people. NATO is preparing for a Russian attack in 2025. Now I'm going to turn this down real quick. 1 second. Sorry about that. A secret German defense ministry document details the imminent outbreak of war in the summer of 2025 on the eastern flank. According to the alliance, at a time when the U.S. could be without leader within weeks of the election, Russia, backed by Belarus, would repeat on NATO territory the 2014 invasion of Ukraine. Would repeat the 2014 attack on In May 2025, NATO will decide on a deterrence measure on Day X. NATO will move 300,000 military personnel, including 30,000 Bundeswehr soldiers, to the eastern flank. The German Defense Ministry commented on NATO's plan to repel a Russian attack in 2025. Considering the different scenarios, even if they are extremely unlikely, is part of everyday military work, especially during army training, the German Defense Minister told Blit. It does not predict war. So readers commented here. So Blit document describes scenario for a possible military drill. It does not predict a war. Some people have been saying that this was going to be a Day X, and then some people were, of course, pointing out that because they're just calling it a drill, even though it's not going to happen, and they just want to get ready for it, and that's sort of where we're looking at it, and I understand the confusion, or even if people are afraid of it, and I wish to point out here that Russia needs to focus on losing one war at a time. I wish to point out that Russia is losing a war on its front in Ukraine. In 2025, Russia will not have a military strong enough for the potentiality of a war. In fact, Russia will never have a military as strong as it used to. And I don't believe in any way that Russia will be able to put up a big enough defense to actually put out sort of a decent attack on the NATO forces. NATO is a huge military alliance, and there is nothing that NATO could not handle when it comes to Russia. At this point in time, the only thing Russia has that's sort of plays a card is it's of course the nuclear arms, right? But even those we have more of, and chances of Russian armor being anywhere where it's necessary, or anywhere where sort of anywhere where it's good enough to fight off any Russian attack. Any NATO attack or fight against any NATO wouldn't be there. Not the nuclear arsenal works probably, but the chances of like all of them working are very low. Therefore, I do think that the U.S. does have more in its nuclear arsenal that works. So yeah. The tank numbers have risen a little bit. There's 14 tanks today, 980 troops, almost 1,000 troops lost today, 20 APVs, 31 vehicles and fuel tanks, 24 artillery systems, 40 UAVs, 1 MRS, 3 special equipment, and 2 anti-aircraft warfare systems, and 1 cruise missile. What? Oh, we are nearing the 400,000 personnel. Denmark yesterday received a new king. We have switched our monarchy. We are not a monarchy yet. We have switched our monarchy is what I meant to say, but we've gotten a king. But not the big news on that front, of course. Russian mobilized around 30. So there you go. Russia mobilizing around 30,000 soldiers monthly. Russia is mobilizing around 30,000 people every month, or around 1,000 to 1,100 recruits daily. Deputy head of Ukraine's military intelligence agency said in an interview with the RBC Ukraine, published on January the 15th. I mean, the Russians are replacing their numbers with a massive literally, but I will say, Western countries should be prepared for further conflict involving China and the Russian Federation, North Korea, and Iran within the next 5 years. The head of the British Minister of Defense. We are at the dawn of a new era, the transition from the post-World War to the pre-World War. Yeah. I mean, we are in a dawn of wars. The world's going to probably destroy itself. I mean, we're looking at that scenario, and we're all going to head back to living in the goddamn forests or something like that. I don't know, but it certainly will not be a pretty sight. We will have to see, of course. Very cool. The difference is whilst Ukraine's the victim, you have been invaded by Russia. Oh, what's the difference between Ukraine and Palestine? Ukraine is white. Really? Paul Williams? It's like Paul Williams out here. It's like, what's the difference between Palestine and Ukraine? Ukraine's white. Really, dude? I mean, I'm not going to point out here. Yes, they're Muslims in Palestine, but they're not exactly anywhere. I mean, they're less white than we are, sure, but I mean, it's not exactly the biggest line, is it? It doesn't make any sense to point that shit out. Doesn't make any sense. The U.S. Navy appeared to have ordered the search and deployment of Theodore Roosevelt. All right. A lot of stuff going on there, but let me tell you what, I don't think there's going to be any fear for any war. I think what NATO is preparing is a massive sort of a massive mobilization of the armies. I mean, it's good to be prepared. I mean, we're talking about 300,000 soldiers. What they're testing and what I believe they're testing, I don't believe that they're doing anything in the sense of doing sort of, I mean, how can you put it? I don't think they're doing anything in the sense of getting ready for a war. I think what they're doing is getting ready for the potentiality of a war. That's what they're doing. And the thing is, wars obviously are wars obviously can happen, and there's nothing stopping it in the end. But we just have to stay strong and hope that we won't end up in a world that's prehistoric or anything like that. We will have to keep an eye out. Next 5 years, they say. Well, the world is turning into a goddamn hot pocket. So next 5 years, you might as well get ready to head back into the goddamn forest. Because I tell you what, I'm gonna live Viking style. So that's what I'm gonna do. No. But yeah.
Every day. The world has become acutely dangerous all around us.
Enemies are preparing. Yeah. We just got to prepare for the eventuality. I think you got to prepare for now, right? I mean, you can start preparing for all kinds of eventuality of war, but the real thing that we have to prepare for is not just the eventuality of war. It is the economic side of this war. Although Europeans have a lot of money. We're Europeans. We always have more money. But the factor is we really have to prepare for a contracted war, and be able to prepare for that means that we have to up the business with the countries most likely not to be at war with us in World War III, and also the countries very likely to be on our side in World War III. World War III is going to be a massive, massive war, if it does happen. It's going to be the war to end all wars. I mean, this is one thing, Einstein said that World War III, the World War IV was going to be fought with sticks and stones. So that's the thing, World War II was going to be fought by guns. World War III is going to be fought by nuclear weapons. Very likely that's going to dominate. Now, I don't believe it's going to dominate the world to start with, but it certainly could turn into it. When you have a dictator with a lot of nuclear weapons, I mean, you have to look at the possibilities of that, but I don't think so. I mean, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps have also said it fired ballistic missiles at Aleppo, Syria. No surprise those guys don't like each other. ISIS and Iran, well, no, frames not liking each other. Ooh, look at that. The first images of the damaged Lycian 22M appeared. It was able to land in Anapa, but the tail was heavily damaged. I'd say that's more heavily damaged. That's just damaged. That is really damaged. That's just, you have damage and then you have that. Holy shit. A lot of planes up that like along the coast here. We got over here. Oh, we got a Chinese military plane. Come on. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, nothing's loading. Everything's just at right now. Yeah, damn. Witchy, welcome in. I think everything just fucking froze. God damn it, dude. There you go. That's what I wanted. Got a Chinese military plane up. I fucking love this fucking internet. Dude. Come on. I guess it's the computer. It's a bit out of date here. Yeah, I'm not getting any network right now. I'm just not getting anything. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. I'm having fun about it, but alright, we can't. Okay, I can't stream right now. So it's just not loading up right now. Does it need to be right there? It's just not, nothing loading in right now. Yeah, it's not loading. Alright. God damn it. I'm gonna have to, nothing's loading in. I can't even see people's comments right now. Alright, I'm gonna have to do a stream tomorrow. This is not working. Alright, we're gonna have to do a stream.